Kevin's, I guess, aggressiveness when he's not out there with John?
Not really. Not really. I mean, it's, I guess, apparent when he just has the ball the whole time that he has to make plays and whatnot. But I don't think he was aggressive until the last second shot heave three that he made right in front of our bench. Then he got aggressive after that. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily because John is out or whatever. I'd just say that he kind of worked his way into the game, and it probably looks that way because he has the ball the whole time. But no, I wouldn't say that.
Do you think maybe he's more comfortable with the ball in his hand?
I don't know. I mean, he's had good games playing kind of off the ball as well. So just because he played well tonight and had the ball most of the time doesn't mean that he can't play just as well off the ball, because we do have a lot of actions that kind of go to him, whether it's him coming up the lane or him looping over the top or him just kind of getting it and going. You know, it's kind of equal opportunity between him and John. So, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that.
Brian Beerfield.
Coach, you got to combine 49 points out of Kelly and Christian. Is that what you're looking forward to seeing for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting better and better playing together. I talked to Seawood yesterday for a while about a bunch of stuff, and we had a really good talk. And I asked him how he likes playing with Kelly. He's like, I love it. I love it. You know, he plays the right way. He spaces, he rolls, he finishes. He said he's just a fun guy to play with. So yeah, if those guys can produce like that, it's good for everybody. It's good for our team. We put a lot of pressure on the defense, and then on the defensive end, you know, we're trying to kind of figure out who's better for playing the perimeter guys and who's better playing the post guys, and do we need to adjust that or fix that at all?
And Coach, can you talk about some of the things that Jaysean doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but he is one of the players that you can go to when you need pretty much anything done.
Yeah, he's another guy that I talked to for a long time yesterday, and he just does a little bit of everything. He played point for us some tonight. He guards centers at times. He cuts and picks and rolls and finds his way into the post some, and can get back to that left hand and make some with his right in the paint. But it's like whenever you need it, he brings it. And tonight, for him to have 6 assists on a night when we only had one true point guard shows his versatility. He's really good.
Jonathan Fagin.
For a team that has not won a lot of real close games on the road, what did you think of sort of the poise down the stretch, particularly the last minute after the Magic made that run?
Yeah, I was really happy with it, especially considering KP had fouled out. So we didn't have a true point guard on the floor. Avery Bradley did a good job in a role that he hasn't had since since he's been here with us. Jaysean brought the ball up a couple times. Kelly brought the ball up a couple times. And for us to find organization, the big play where Christian caught it up at the top and drove it and finished in the paint, that was a huge play for him in the fourth quarter. And the poise of those guys. We did have, guys who have been out there before. We had Avery and Christian and Kelly along with Armani and JT. So for that group to have that poise down the stretch is growth for our group. Every moment we're trying to learn and grow from, and that was one of those.
I'm sorry if you were asked this before I got in, but for Kevin Porter Jr. To have a tough game last game, maybe a slow start today, and get going the way he did, a couple fouls aside, what does that show for him to be able to sort of leave one game behind and go on to the next?
Shows a lot of maturity. It shows growth. It shows the ability, especially, I guess your question is kind of pointing towards how hard that can be in the NBA. 82-game season, 72 this year, for a young guy who has a lot of responsibility and hasn't had a lot of experience. And for him to be able to bounce back, whether it's game to game, quarter to quarter, is big. And it points towards him being a consistent player and someone we can depend on and all those things. So, yeah, not kind of focusing that much on the fouls, but how he kind of snaps himself into playing well was very important tonight and very important for his future and our future as a team.
Thank you.
Adam Spolin.
You mentioned talking to guys, having long conversations with guys yesterday. What led to that?
Oh, I'm always talking to guys. It wasn't just yesterday. I just happened to say it today, I guess. But communication is the key, really, and making sure that I'm communicating effectively with guys, especially when we're kind of going through our ups and downs throughout the season. It's important to check in with the players, and it's important to hear their perspective, and it's important to learn from them, and it's important for them to hear my perspective as well. So it wasn't anything necessarily new. I try to do it as much as possible.
We'll take two more. Kelly Eco.
Coach, I had a question about Kevin. How did you see him go through his reads and progressions tonight? Obviously, he had the seven assists, but how did you see him go through those progressions in the half court?
He did a good job. I thought he started off a little slow, some careless turnovers, but he warmed up into the game. He got aggressive, and for him, just kind of the communication that we have is he needs to just play and not really worry about the last play, feel that he has to do more than he is capable of, and all of those things. He just needs to play, and we'll learn from those moments. And, when he's not thinking so very much, you have to think, obviously, but when he's just kind of overloading with the thoughts, it can be hard to play that way. So letting him play free is important, and teaching and growing they're both important. But as far as his reads, I think they came along a little bit after the first quarter, and he did a really good job until he fouled out.
And last question, Brian Bearfield.
Coach, how proud are you of your team? You were down by 12, and you all put it together, made a run, and took the lead and never gave it up. Is that what you mean by when you say putting it all together?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super proud of my team. We played, how many guys? Eight guys tonight. We only had 1 point guard. So yeah, we had guys playing out of position. We had guys, we had a stretch where we had to play zone because KP had 5 fouls, and we hung in there. And the start of the third quarter was great. We finished the second quarter. I think somebody made a 3 and then carried that momentum into the third quarter, and it was really good and spirited and all of those things. And you go into a game like this, and I was racking my brain all day trying to figure out the rotation because I knew we weren't going to have ball handlers on the floor. And for them to just go out there and play their hearts out and take the lead and then keep the lead, and Avery Bradley out there playing the point, and JT playing the point, and Kelly Olynyk bringing the ball up the floor, and Christian Wood really just doing whatever we needed, whether it was the big block shot at the end or the score at the very end. That's growth from our group, and I'm happy. I'm happy about it.